All right, welcome into the Rocky Top Insider post-game show. Tennessee gets a big win here in the season opener, 90-62 over UT Martin. The crowd was energetic. The stands were energetic all game long, but a little bit of a interesting game. Ryan Schumpert, Rick Butler. Ryan, what was your biggest takeaway from Tennessee's win today?
Yeah, I think there's got to be a lot of them. One, the defense just as a whole, we knew that was going to be a question, and they looked, frankly, really, really bad the first 7-8 minutes of the game. I thought they settled in after that and were solid. You still saw lapses. Rick Barnes still looked like he wanted to pull his hair out a few times on the bench, and he didn't hardly want to talk about anything else in his postgame besides Tennessee's defense. But
yeah,
on the positive mark, you see Tennessee once again, the three-point shooting, 43-point attempts tonight. It seems like that's going to be real. That's going to be how this offense plays.
Yeah, it really does. And even think about it, a Thompson Bowling Arena record with 17 made three-pointers. Tennessee really likes that three-point shot this year, and they have the shooters to do it.
They do, and I think they have a diversity of them, too. Obviously, Justin Powell and Santiago Vescovi, you think those guys are going to kind of be the two three-point specialists, per se.
Yeah.
Vescovi hit 6 tonight. Powell was 3 of 5. Kennedy Chandler, a perfect 4 for 4. Man, we were just talking about this before we went on, but in the exhibition game and now tonight, Chandler's combined 8 and 9 from three-point range. You knew he was a guy that came in that was capable of shooting threes and being a good three-point shooter, and he's not going to shoot at that rate. But he looks pretty elite at it so far this season, and if he does that, he's a guy that's going to have a chance to be an SEC Player of the Year, and he's going to be a guy that's going to hear his name called really early in the NBA draft next June.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one other thing, we learned after the game today during the postgame that John Fulkerson is going to be probable for Sunday's game, so maybe, I guess, leaning towards playing, but we'll see on Sunday. I think that's going to be a big addition for Tennessee. Starting Uros Plavsic at the center, had a little bit of trouble rebounding, even though Tennessee did get the rebounding advantage on the night. I do think that when Fulkerson comes back, it's going to give Tennessee's offense a little bit more. Even Barnes said in his postgame, are we going to work through him? Obviously we are. So you know that's going to be a big step for Tennessee when they get him back. But I do agree. I think the biggest takeaway on the defensive side of the ball is just need to keep improving there. But maybe on the offensive side of the ball, Tennessee's got some shooters who can shoot, and they weren't necessarily on the team last year. Kennedy Chandler, Justin Powell, and then you throw in some returning veterans like a Santiago Vescovi. I think that was probably my biggest takeaway from the night.
Yeah, I know Olivier Camois made 1 of 3 threes, but looks comfortable. I think one of them rimmed out. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield made a 3 there late in the game. I don't know how much we'll see that, but just more and more guys, more and more options for the three-point shooting. And on Fulkerson front, I think that's big. And not that necessarily John Fulkerson is going to come in and play like he did at the end of the season 2 years ago when he was a legit all-SEC first-team level player, but he's just a body. Tennessee doesn't have much depth down low, and they need that body. He knows the expectations of what Rick Barnes wants. I think that's going to be big, and I think when you looked at the first half and Tennessee's struggles, it was 1, defense, and it was 2, they weren't very good in the interior. Olivier Camois was really bad in that first half. Plavsic wasn't great. Camois turned it complete 180 in the second half. He played great. I think had 8 of his 11 points, 9 of his 13 rebounds, which, how about that? Uros Plavsic grabs 1 rebound, Olivier Camois grabs 14 tonight. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, wild. And one thing I'll be interested to see on Camois, he's always a guy that has talked about needing to be confident, needing to just looking a little indecisive at times on the court.
Sure.
And that was a little bit of what it was in the first half. So you wonder, this is the first time that he's going to be able to play through mistakes. Tennessee has to have him play minutes this year. He's not going to get the early yank when he makes mistakes. Is that a theme we see? Is it something where he just gets a lot more comfortable as the game goes on? Obviously, Tennessee needs him to be better from the jump, but I thought in what looked like a really disappointing first half from Camois' development, second half was a lot more positive.
I agree, man. That's going to be it for us. Again, Tennessee takes the victory in the season opening game today against UT Martin by a final score of 90-62. We will see you back soon. Otherwise, make sure to stay tuned to RockyTopInsider.com and Rocky Top Insider on all the social media for the best Tennessee football, basketball. Hey, we're covering all the sports on the site. We got stuff planned all this week. Lady Vols coming tomorrow on Wednesday. For Ryan Schumpert, I'm Rick Butler. It's the Rocky Top Insider postgame show.